Hello again, I am back trying to learn how to be a good Vagrus. Last episode is moving through the algorithm nicely. View numbers going up, watch durations going down. Standard issue really. Now, last time we got to scrap heap, stocked up on the precious iron that we're gonna need to take down to Avernum. Currently have 7 days worth of supplies. Can't see the destination yet. Let's start getting closer. We have 10 movement points per day. Looks like each node takes 3, so we're gonna be able to move 3 per day. The crew management UI is now active. Click on the sheet in the top left corner to open it. This big one right here. The crew management window allows you to manage your comitatus. Morale is the general mood of your comitatus. If it ever drops to 1, there's a chance that the comitatus dissolves and you lose the game. You can see the current effects of your morale below the rating. Obedience indicates how satisfied your slaves are. Low obedience leads to theft, runaways, and worse. Be sure to guard your slaves with enough fighters and treat your slaves well, or punish them consistently to raise obedience. Nutrition shows you how well fed your crew is. Low nutrition incurs penalties. Extra rations raise nutrition, while starving your crew repeatedly lowers it. Vigor indicates how tired the comitatus is. Low vigor results in penalties on tests and in a drastically slower comitatus, which can spare doom quite fast. You can see the current effects of your vigor on its tooltip. Upkeep is how much you owe your crew for their work per day. You can pay them at the end of each day, or keep collecting debt toward them. Consumption is how much food your crew consumes each day. Running out of supplies leads to a quick death in the wastelands. Workforce is generated by workers and slaves. You have to have enough workforce to cover the comitatus's needs, including beasts, crew, and passengers. Going below the required number bestows serious penalties. Passengers are people your comitatus takes to their destinations for rewards. You can take on passengers in some events and settlements. They also consume supplies, which is the lizard icon. Here you can see the number of each crew and beast type you have in your comitatus. Consult the tooltip for each type to learn more about their role. Outriders are special because you need a fighter and a mount to be able to create an outrider by using the plus button. While outriders are excellent fighters, mounts without riders carry cargo. You can always dismount fighters using the minus button. For now, add an outrider, then close this window by clicking the X. Okay, we have 8 fighters and 2 mounts. And this removes 1 from each. Now we have an outrider. Let's see, got 11 slaves, 6 workers, 3 scouts, fighters, outriders, mounts, and beasts of burden. So buying more of these is what's going to increase our cargo space. Let's see. Morale status, keen. Okay, these are giving tiny bonuses, but I imagine they are going to stack up. Our slaves are compliant. Our nutrition is sustained. Not bad, but not good either. And we are energetic. so I assume all of these effects stack. So that's plus 15% max march, 5% max movement. We don't really have enough to have any effect on that. Indeed. Okay, so we're paying 3 bros and 5 lirg per day. We already have 2 days worth of upkeep. Total consumption of 94. We have almost double the workforce than we need. Okay, here's a little breakdown. Yeah, looks like fighters are pretty pricey with the upkeep. But we do need them. Okay, so slaves have no upkeep. And apparently it comes with the cost of giving about half the workforce that regular workers do. All right. And we have the Wandering Old Man as the passenger. He is the one telling the story, if you remember. We have the cargo secured. All right, time to move. Okay, so this is as far as we can get in a day. You have run out of movement points and need to camp, ending the day. Being on the road all day, spending most of your MP, lowers the vigor of your comitatus that you can replenish by camping. You can also camp earlier than running out of MP, which helps raise vigor faster. Okay, now we get this camp option. At the end of each in-game day, the comitatus makes camp and settles down for the night. Supplies are consumed and movement points are refreshed after camping. At each camp, you can decide to offer normal or double wages for the current day independently of whether you pay them or not. Double payment increases morale. You can also choose to pay all your debts to your crew at this time, or accrue payments, but the longer you delay it, the grumpier the crew gets. Obedience and nutrition also appear here, as well as the options to discipline or liberate slaves. Workforce shows how much workforce you need to maintain the comitatus. Going below the required value bestows serious penalties. You have the option to give out less or more supplies under rations, which penalizes or boosts vigor and morale respectively. Starving your crew will have long-term negative effects on nutrition as well, but it may be necessary sometimes to save rations. The lock icon allows you to save the current settings, ensuring they persist for all subsequent camps. However, the button is disabled until you reach Avernum to prevent accidentally handing out too many supplies. That's really fair of you, game, thank you. Under Acquire Supplies, you can send your crew out into the wasteland to find supplies and sometimes even other goods. Base chances for these activities depend on your related perks, deputies, crew, and the region you are in. You can also see the expected yields below each activity. The cost of hunting and foraging is movement points or vigor if you're out of MP. Hunting uses scouts and has a chance to get you a large number of supplies. Critical failure might kill scouts. Click on the scouts to allow hunting. Foraging is more reliable, but yields fewer supplies. It can use workers and slaves. You can add them to or remove them from the activity by clicking on their crew portraits. Critical failure might kill workers or slaves. From the camp UI, hunting and foraging results appear after you end the day. The summary of what happened to your crew that day can be seen on the right. You can also talk to your companions using the speech bubble icons beneath their portraits. Companions heal naturally during camp. The chance of healing or worsening condition can be seen on the bar below the portraits. Using the button on the right allows the use of medical supplies for increased healing chances and effectiveness. Medical supplies are quite valuable, use them wisely. Healing results appear after you end the day. You must also set your defense orders for the night. A more lenient defense has a higher risk of a nighttime ambush and a negative effect on obedience. When you have set everything up, click the End Day button. This will sometimes trigger camp events. Alright, that's quite a number of things to be juggling, but I do like it. It is the most realistic take on camping with a large group that I've ever seen. So we can pay now, which would take about half the money that we currently have. We'll just keep paying later. And we're not going to be able to get any money until we arrive at Avernum and actually sell our stuff. It would be nice if I could see somewhere how many days I can pay my crew for with the amount of money I have. I think for now I'm going to pay and then keep the rest of the money for when we're actually in the city. Okay, gonna pay normally. The slaves are compliant. We can choose to discipline one or more to gain obedience. Note that disciplining your slaves has a diminishing return and may have the opposite effect of obedience. Costs no MP if you're already camping. Or we can liberate one or more to gain obedience. Liberated slaves become workers. Note that the obedience gain has a diminishing return. This also costs no MP. So these are basically emergency measures, I guess. So if you maybe made the wrong move somewhere and lost some workers, you can convert some of your slaves into workers and then buy some more in a town somewhere. Let's see, we have normal nutrition. If I were to bump up rations 50%, that would make everyone well fed. That's +1 max vigor. Which one is vigor? Ah, this is vigor. I see, and double rations. Increase morale and obedience. So it looks like every once in a while it would be advisable to have a bit of a feast. Okay, gonna keep that one in mind. Let's see, I have 3 scouts. And their chances are not looking very good. and because I don't have enough movement points, it would cost me 1 vigor. I don't think I want to do that. Okay, looks like no matter what I pick, it would cost me vigor. But these chances are not too bad. It would give me up to a day's worth of supplies. There's probably a perk somewhere that would help me with the chances. Okay, let's look at the defend orders. You need 7 fighters and outriders combined to post guards for no bonuses but no penalties. If I were to post no guards, that increases vigor, but costs obedience and morale. And morale is the most important thing out here. Let's see. If I had a lot more fighters, I could post even more guards for extra morale and obedience at the cost of vigor. It is going to be a bit of a balancing act. Later on, it looks like. We got 2 companions. We got good old Javek here. And I don't remember your name. You approach Javek. He is tending to one of your beasts of burden. When he sees you wish to talk, he steps away, motioning to a handler to finish what he started. What's on your mind, Vagrus? Ask what he thinks of Avernum and about what you can expect there. Oh yeah, I remember, you haven't been there for a long time. Well, Avernum is less of a provincial town, like Scrap Heap these days, and more like one of the great cities of the Empire. Sure, it's not as large as Devon or Torzak's Shelter, but it's a busy city with a lot of people and commerce. They say that the prefect who oversees the place has his own private thing going on, and he's fairly easy on the crime bosses. Well, at least on those that play along. Trade from the region concentrates on Avernum, and everyone wants to get their share. Okay, thank you, Javek. And remind me, who are you? Morwen is discussing something with a few scouts when you approach them. She sees you and steps away from her company, joining you next to a tent in the shadows. You immediately start to feel anxious, as if roused out of torpor by Tarkian coffee. The effects of her demonkin heritage, no doubt. Anything I can do for you? Okay, we can ask her what she thinks about Javek. Ask what she thinks about the Comitatus. What I think is that if everyone does what they are supposed to, we can deal with most problems on the way. There is a moment of silence, and you realize she is done talking about this. Okay, professional woman of few words. I can get behind that. Everything else is okay here. Let's end the day quickly. Alright, brand new day. I were to move only up to here, and with 4 movement points remaining, let's try camping. Okay, so acquiring supplies needs at least 2 movement points. Even if I send everyone out at once. Alright, that is good to know. Let's try sending on everyone foraging here. It is a pretty low chance, but I don't think... Okay, failure only means you gain fewer, and you can only lose them. On a critical failure, that is highly unlikely. Okay, no changes here. We failed the foraging, but still got a little bit of supplies. After a long day's march under bleak skies and harassed by hot winds, the comitatus finally settles down in a wide ravine. After taking care of camp chores and checking on all your commas, you go to your tent and tuck in for the night. There are benefits to sleeping out in the wasteland. The silence is quite calming, tranquil even. That reminds me. I don't know where the music went. Oh well. It's probably gonna come back after a while. Only the murmur of the distant fire-belching mountains, the whisper of the wind, and the occasional groans of your beasts can be heard. Except, something else is making a muffled noise you do not recognize. Your eyes flick open. Something is wrong. What in Tartaris is it now? You rise to check it out. Leaving your tent and passing the sleeping beasts, you are just about to go to a guard when you stumble upon a large, quadrupedal creature covered with fused bone protrusions. It is munching on supplies scattered across the ground, evidently from a torn-open sack lying nearby. The creature is a Chakra, a wasteland scavenger that hunts in packs. Before you can utter a word, the monster charges you, and out of the shadows, Morwen leaps at it, tackling it aside and cutting its hide with her bone axe in a follow-up swing. You breathe out, realizing that she has probably just saved your life. Javek runs up to you just as the creature backs off and lets out a long howl. There's more of these accursed things, boss. Must have sneaked past the perimeter guards. They are trying to chase them off, he blurts out. As he does, you can hear yelling and the sounds of a battle from around camp. The wounded Jakra is joined by another one from behind the cargo pile, and the two of them start circling you. Javek steps beside Morwen as they get ready for the fight. Okay, we have combat over here. Companion combat is turn-based, where 1 to 6 enemies fight against your team of 1 to 6 companions. You can use the skills of your companions to defeat your enemies, protect your companions, and set yourself up in advantageous positions on the combat board. Companion combat is made up of rounds. Each round, all the participants take turns to act, and when everyone has had their turn, the current round ends and a new round is started. This goes on until either your companions or your enemies are defeated. Combat board is divided into 2 sides. The friendly side on the left, where your companions and occasional allies are, and the opponent's side on the right, where your enemies are. Each side has a front row, also called a melee row, and the back row, the ranged row. Each row has 3 positions. Certain skills can only be used when standing in a position in the appropriate row. Okay, the order in which combatants receive their turns is according to their initiative. At the beginning of each round, all active combatants add 1 to 6 at random to their initiative to determine in what order they will progress through the round, starting from the highest. The initiative order here at the top left, shows the order in which combatants receive their turns. Wise leaders use this information to plan ahead. Okay, so looks like this guy is gonna go first. Melee skills can only be used from the front row. They can only target front row enemies that are adjacent to the attacker's position, or back row enemies if no front row enemy blocks them. Because of these rules, positioning in melee is paramount. All characters can move to any adjacent position on their own side. If they move into a position that is occupied by another character, that character is pushed out of the position it occupies and has to be moved into an adjacent free position, even to the position the other character has just left. Not only do characters in the front row prevent melee attacks against characters directly behind them, but also make them more difficult to hit with certain ranged skills, those that have the line of sight property. Move Morven in front of Javek to protect him. Okay, so we're moving her up here. Each companion has 4 combat skills beside move, represented by the row of icons below their name on the character information bar. When you select a skill, its stats are displayed below the skill icons. You can select skills or move by clicking on them or pressing their number. Selected skills are highlighted, as are all available targets for the selected skill. Skill details can be viewed in the information sheet on the bottom left after a skill is chosen. Use Mind Blast to attack one of your opponents. Let's see, Mind Blast, ranged attack power 2. Javek's telepathic talent is used to burn the mind of the foe, literally frying their brain. Let's see. Expected to deal 3 to 4 damage. Causes the enervated effect. 10% crit chance. Okay, do I have to attack this one? Let's see, you have no evade, no block, no armor. Okay, nice damage over here. More advanced skills include options to push front row enemies back with Savage Kick, and to pull back row enemies to the front with Whiplash. Some skills are more complex, for example, including a move and attack with Strafe. These type of skills can be used to great effect in controlling your enemies. Use more than Savage Kick to send a Jakro enemy to the back row, denying it an attack. Okay, so that's gonna be this one. Okay, and you see, it used its turn to move back forward. You can consult the combat log sheet at the mid bottom, right here, anytime to see what exactly occurred. The log is scrollable, but if you wish to see more of it, click it to open it fully. It can be closed by clicking it again. The character sheet can be opened by clicking its icon at the portrait. Gonna be this one here. You can see all the combat relevant stats of the active companion there and consult the tooltips to learn more. The forfeit button over here at the character portrait allows you to pass your current turn. So now we have to defeat these. So this one's gonna be you, right? Yeah, okay. You have one action remaining. And you have 10% block. So this is the defense mode. Either block or evade. I see. What else can you do? Hypnosis. We can move an enemy. You have receding swing. That's a melee skill. I don't think you like being in the front row. And you have premonition. It's a buff skill. The mind's eye can see the future ever so briefly, allowing to anticipate the foe's next move. Okay, a whole lot of initiative, evade, block, and accuracy. Let's put some on you. Okay, you also moved forward. Let's take a quick look at you. This is one of the things I could have used in Darkest Dungeon 1. At least the second game has the list of skills for you. I enjoyed that. Okay, looks like these ones only have melee skills. Got Maul and Pin. Oh, Pin ignores target's armor and can stun. I do not like that. Okay, this is how we go back. Are they the same otherwise? Yes, they are. So I think I should give myself a little bit of wiggle room over here. But still need to do some damage. Okay, you have 20% evade. Same as you. Okay, I can get you with Javek, no problem here. That's one less to worry about. And I suppose I could just keep playing the push and pull game forever. Oh, and it looks like premonition buffs him too. That is very useful. Yeah, you got 5 power. Mind Blast takes 2. If everything goes well. Okay, what is this? Enervated. I do not know what that means. But okay. Lucky crit. Very nice. Of course, this was only one tutorial fight. The two chakra lie dead at your feet. Morven wipes the foul-smelling blood from her axe blade as a guard arrives and talks to her. "You okay, boss?" Javek pats you on the shoulder. You nod, turning to Morven as she approaches you. "All hostiles taken care of," she says. "They got to some of the food, but we could take their meat and other parts to make up for it." See, because someone has the hunting perk. Probably her. Harvest the damn critters before going back to bed. Perhaps you will gain something from this in the end. Oh, got 90 supplies. That's almost a full day. 2 ivory and 5 hides. Do I even? Yes, because I keep eating the supplies every day. Got just enough space. That's very nice. So, looks like hunting can be lucrative. Okay, this node only costs 2. Your chart is now active. In other words, the map. The chart is your tool in navigating the wastelands of Zerin and planning out journeys. You can move around by holding left mouse button and moving the mouse, and you can zoom with the mouse wheel. Your comitatus is represented by a red banner. Any discovered settlement or point of interest can be marked by clicking on their icon and choosing flag in the bottom left box, which highlights them on the chart. You also have the option to navigate to the codex from the box. Mark of Erdnum. It is down here. Okay, marked locations remain visible regardless of map zoom. Please note that although a sizable chunk of the continent of Zerin is accessible in the open world campaign, the rest is not reachable and is merely part of world building. Yeah, I remember I read a negative review of the game on Steam that said the same thing. I wonder if the devs put this one here because of that. Like someone was complaining about, "Oh, this is supposed to be an open world, why can I go here or there?" Well, you're not supposed to go everywhere, even in an open world. You are a trader. There are places you have no business being. Oh, and it says 5 to 8 days of travel. We currently have about 6 days worth of supplies, so that's gonna cut it really close. Ooh, but look at this. Holy shit, this map is huge. Like, just look at this. Even if I only had the option of moving along the roads to these settlements, I think that's already quite a lot of game. I am not going to be complaining. Okay, so looks like this is where the old man wants to be. Devon's over there. So this is the molten tongue. It's basically a huge lava lake coming from the volcano. Oh, this looks so cool. Oh, so many places to visit. Like, see, I highly doubt we're gonna be able to go all the way to these islands. But that doesn't mean that they might as well not be there, you know. World building is very important. Okay, can scroll on this map. But Avernum is still some ways away. It looks like nothing has changed over here. Ah, I see. Because they got hurt. Now they have a chance to heal. It's a fairly low chance. 49% that they're not gonna heal. And the 16% that it gets worse. And I only have 10 medical supplies. If I were to use one, I see, it literally flips the negative and the positive numbers around. Let's not use any until absolutely necessary. Alright. Only got 6 supplies. And they healed for 1. That is very good. Okay, we can do another one. Forced March allows you to move further than your maximum movement points in a given day. Forced March movement uses marching MPs, indicated next to your MPs on the top left. It's the red one over here. Marching along paths and its cost is indicated by red on the campaign map. Although forced marches get you further, use them carefully. Your crew loses vigor and even morale rapidly if you march too often without extra resting. We strongly suggest refraining from frequent forced marches until you have more experience. High vigor, morale, and a well-supplied comitatus are required for forced marches to have a less negative impact. So, I suppose if you maybe have a quest to get somewhere fast, that would be beneficial. Okay, wait a moment here. Our daily upkeep went up from 3.5 to 4. What is up with that? Okay, and looks like Javek has a worse chance to heal now. Again, what's up with that? He failed foraging again. But I am gonna figure out oh, I think I see it now. Looks like the companions are going to increase in their upkeep, I suppose, as they gain experience. That's gonna be one more thing to keep in mind. But a bunch of properties, I think I'm gonna go over them some other time. Okay, so I can get here with 9 and move one more node with force. I don't see how anything would change from this. Oh, I see. I think I have to actually spend all my movement before I can order a march. That's probably a smart thing. Or maybe there's an event. Okay, I think I'm going to cut it here. This looks like some story event, and I don't know how long this is gonna take. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like my bumbling, please consider leaving me a like. I am very slowly learning the ins and outs of this game. And I'm gonna see you in the next one, hopefully. Until then, have a nice day.